Discipline is more powerful than motivation because discipline creates consistency, and consistency is the foundation of every real transformation in life. Motivation is a spark, strong, exciting, emotional, but it fades. It comes and goes like waves, rising high one day and disappearing the next. If you build your life on motivation alone, you'll only work when the energy is high, only push when you feel good, and only commit when circumstances are perfect. But life will never give you perfect circumstances. That's why discipline steps in. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It cares what you do. Discipline doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It creates the moment. Motivation is something you feel. Discipline is something you choose. There are days when you wake up excited, focused, and ready to give everything you've got. And on those days, motivation carries you. But what about the days when life hits you? The days when you're tired, stressed, overwhelmed, or discouraged. The days when nothing seems to go right. That's when most people give up because they're depending on motivation. But disciplined people push through even when everything around them says. They don't let emotions dictate effort. They don't let the weather, mood, or circumstances control their consistency. They show up because they've trained themselves to show up. It's not about feeling ready. It's about being committed. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. At first, it's uncomfortable. Your mind will resist. Your body will resist. Your body will resist. Your habits will fight back because they don't want to change. But the moment you keep going, despite the resistance, something powerful happens. Your mind starts to adapt. Your habits start to shift. Your environment begins to change. You start becoming someone who doesn't quit easily, someone who doesn't break under pressure, someone who keeps promises to themselves. And that is one of the greatest forms of self-respect. When you practice discipline, you're not just changing your actions, you're rebuilding your identity. People look at successful individuals and think they're gifted, lucky, or naturally motivated. But the truth is, most of them aren't motivated every day. They're disciplined every day. The entrepreneur who wakes up at 4 a.m. isn't always excited to get out of bed. The athlete who trains twice a day isn't always eager to work. The student who studies while their friends relax isn't always in the mood to learn. But they understand something most people don't. If they want results that last, they must practice habits that last. Discipline doesn't just create consistency, it builds momentum. And momentum is the silent force that separates dreamers from doers. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is practical. Motivation wants to feel good. Discipline wants to get better. Motivation says, I'll start tomorrow. Discipline says, I'll start now. Motivation looks for reasons. Discipline looks for results. That's why a motivated person might be inspired today and discouraged tomorrow, but a disciplined person remains steady no matter what they feel inside. You become dangerous in a good way when your actions are no longer controlled by your emotions. You become unstoppable when you learn to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Some of your biggest problems right now are not because you lack talent, opportunity, or intelligence. They exist because you lack discipline. You know what to do, but you don't do it consistently. You know what habits you need to break, but you let them control you. You know what goals you want to reach, but you're not willing to follow the process every day. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about taking steps forward even when they're small, even when they're uncomfortable. Small steps done daily will beat big steps done occasionally. When you practice discipline, life becomes clearer. You waste less time, you make better decisions, you protect your energy, and you move with intention. Discipline teaches you delayed gratification, the ability to sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term success. While others chase quick comfort, disciplined people chase lasting growth. While others quit when things get hard, disciplined people push through and reach levels they never imagined. Discipline trains your mind to understand that the reward is worth the sacrifice. Every major breakthrough in history is the result of someone choosing discipline over comfort. Every great achievement is built on a foundation of repeated actions, done over and over until excellence becomes natural. When you see someone living a life you admire, you can be sure that behind that life is a level of discipline that most people will never commit to. And that's the truth. Discipline gives you what motivation cannot. It gives you structure, direction, and the ability to transform dreams into daily decisions. Your feelings cannot lead you. Discipline must guide you because feelings are unreliable. They change from moment to moment, and if you build your life around them, you will live in cycles of inconsistency. One day you feel confident, the next you feel doubtful. One morning you feel motivated, the next you feel tired. One moment you feel unstoppable, the next you feel like giving up. If you let these shifting emotions decide your actions, you will never reach your potential. Feelings are temporary, but discipline creates permanence. Feelings make decisions in seconds, but discipline makes decisions for your future. Most people let their feelings take the wheel without realizing those feelings are driving them straight into distraction, procrastination, regret, and wasted time. You feel tired, so you don't work. You feel sad, so you stop trying. You feel anxious, so you avoid the challenge. You feel unmotivated, so you tell yourself you'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow becomes next week, and next week becomes next year. When feelings lead, excuses grow. When discipline leads, progress grows. Your feelings might say stop, but discipline says to keep going. Your feelings want comfort. Discipline wants growth. Think about how many opportunities you missed because you let your feelings speak louder than your purpose. There were moments when your future was calling, but your emotions were louder, heavier, and more convincing. Feelings will tell you that you're not ready. They will tell you that you're too tired, too scared, too stressed, or too broken. But most of the time, those feelings are lying. Your emotions exaggerate problems, minimize your strength, and magnify your doubts. Discipline cuts through those illusions. It reminds you that despite doubt, despite fear, despite discomfort, you still have the power to act. Discipline is choosing your future over your mood. It's refusing to let short-term emotions destroy long-term goals. It's waking up on days you don't feel like waking up. It's working when the environment isn't perfect. It's pushing when your mind whispers to give up. Discipline is the adult that steps in when the child inside you wants to throw a tantrum. It's the voice that says, I know you don't feel like it, but we're doing it anyway. And every time you listen to that voice, you gain power, you gain control, you gain strength over your inner chaos. Nothing meaningful is built on feelings alone. A strong mind, a strong body, a strong career, a strong relationship. These things come from discipline. Think about anyone you admire. They didn't get where they are by following emotions. They follow routines, they follow systems. They follow commitments. They didn't let bad days stop them. They didn't let stress silence them. They didn't let fear hold them. They leaned on discipline when feelings were unreliable. If you want to rise, you must do the same. Feelings may be real, but they shouldn't be your master. The human mind is emotional by nature. Fear tries to protect you, but often limits you. Comfort tries to soothe you, but often weakens you. Desire tries to excite you, but often distracts you. If you obey every emotion, you will live like a puppet, controlled by impulses that don't serve your destiny. Discipline breaks that pattern. It teaches you self-control, patience, intentionality, and resilience. It builds a structure inside you that feelings cannot knock down. There will always be moments when you don't feel ready, confident, or strong. But success doesn't require you to feel strong. It requires you to act strong. The truth is, discipline is not about removing your feelings. It's about not letting them dictate your decision. You can feel scared and still move forward. You can feel tired and still show up. You can feel uncertain and still take the next step. The discipline teaches you that feelings are visitors. They come and go, but your purpose is permanent. When your feelings leave, your life becomes chaotic. When discipline leaves, your life gains direction. You start making decisions based on who you want to become, not who you are in the moment. You start valuing progress over comfort. You stop negotiating with your weakness. You begin to build habits that reshape your life. Every disciplined action you take weakens the power of your emotions to control you. Every time you follow through despite feeling unmotivated, you rewire your mind to be stronger than your moods. Most people underestimate how powerful their emotions are. A little stress can stop their progress. A little doubt can make them abandon their dreams. A little boredom can make them quit routines that were changing their lives. But disciplined people don't collapse under these emotions. They understand that feelings are part of the journey, not the end of it. Not the end. They expect resistance. They expect discomfort. They expect fear. And they move forward anyway. That's what separates ordinary from extraordinary to ordinary. Success is built through daily habits, not random effort. Many people think success is about luck, talent, or being in the right place at the right time. They imagine some grand moment or a sudden breakthrough that would change everything. But the reality is far simpler and far more demanding. Success is the result of the small, consistent actions you take every single day. It's in the choices you make when no one is watching, in the commitment you show when it's hard, and in the routines you follow, even when they feel boring or repetitive. Greatness is not a single act. It is a series of acts compounded over time. The problem is that most people are chasing big wins while neglecting the little things that make those wins possible. They want to be wealthy but don't save consistently. They want to be strong but skip workouts. They want to be respected but ignore the small responsibilities that build trust. They want to grow but they wait for inspiration instead of creating structure. Success doesn't work that way. You don't reach your goals in a single leap. You reach them in the repetition of the right actions, repeated over and over until they become second nature. Habits are the building blocks of your future, and daily habits are the bricks. Without them, everything else collapses. The power of daily habits lies in their consistency. Every day you make dozens of choices, many of them unconscious. Each choice is either moving you toward your goals or pulling you away from them. The difference between someone who achieves their dreams and someone who doesn't is how those choices add up over time. One workout doesn't make you an athlete, but one workout every day over months or years does. One focused hour of learning doesn't make you an expert, but an hour a day consistently will transform your mind. One disciplined decision doesn't change your life, but one disciplined decision repeated consistently builds a life of strength, purpose, and accomplishment. Success is not glamorous in the moment. It's not about big dramatic acts. It's about showing up consistently, doing what's necessary, even when it's uncomfortable, tedious. It's brushing your teeth, writing your plan, studying for an hour, going to the gym, saving a little money, calling that mentor, staying disciplined when distractions tempt you. Each small act seems insignificant, but when repeated, it forms the architecture of achievement. The habits you build daily become your identity. The person who studies daily becomes a scholar. The person who works daily becomes an expert. The person who trains daily becomes an athlete. You are the sum of your repeated actions. People often get discouraged because they don't see immediate results. They think if they work hard for 1 week, 1 month, or even a few months, they should already be at the top. But habits need time to take root. The magic of daily effort is that it compounds silently, often unnoticed at first. This is why so many give up too soon. They expect instant results. But the truth is, success rewards those who are consistent over time, not those who are sporadic or only try when it feels easy. If you commit to the process, the results will come. And when they do, they are unstoppable because they were built on a foundation that cannot be shaken by temporary obstacles. The difference between someone who achieves their goals and someone who doesn't is not that one has more talent, it's that one has better habits. Talent can give you a head start, but without habits, talent fades. Discipline and habits sustain success long after motivation disappears. Daily actions create a rhythm of flow, a structure that allows you to weather the storms of life. Habits teach your mind and body what to expect. They create momentum, and momentum is the secret weapon of those who consistently achieve greatness. Your daily habits also shape your mindset. Doing something small every day reinforces the belief that you are capable. Completing a simple task consistently proves to yourself that you can follow through. That reinforcement builds confidence and resilience. Every time you stay disciplined with your habits, you are rewiring your brain to operate at a higher level. Your actions precede your feeling. The more disciplined your actions, the stronger your belief in your ability to succeed becomes. Success is not just an external outcome. It is an internal transformation. And it starts with what you do consistently day after day. The key is to focus on systems rather than outcomes. Don't obsess over a distant goal. Obsess over the daily practices that will get you there. If you want to run a marathon, focus on running every day. If you want to become financially independent, focus on daily saving, investing, and learning about money. If you want to master a skill, focus on daily deliberate practice. The big results are a byproduct of the small, consistent efforts. Discipline protects you from distractions, comfort, and fear. Most people underestimate how dangerous these three enemies are because they appear harmless at first. Distractions are everywhere, constantly pulling your attention away from what really matters. Social media notifications, messages, unimportant tasks, endless scrolling, and other minor interruptions seem small, but when added together day after day after day, they steal hours, energy, and focus. Without discipline, you let distractions dictate your actions. You become reactive instead of proactive, living life according to the world's priorities rather than your own. Discipline, on the other hand, is like a shield. It allows you to focus on what truly matters, to prioritize your long-term goals over temporary pleasures, and to protect your time like a precious resource. Every time you choose to ignore a distraction and stick to your plan, you are strengthening your ability to stay focused and productive. That is how progress is built. That is how success is sustained. Comfort is another enemy because it disguises itself as safety and ease. Most people fall into the trap of comfort, thinking that avoiding discomfort is smart, when in reality it is deadly. Comfort tells you to settle, to take shortcuts to avoid the work that is uncomfortable but necessary. It tells you to procrastinate, to stay in your current job even if it doesn't fulfill you, to skip workout, to leave goals half done, to settle for mediocrity. But every time you give in to comfort, you delay growth. Discipline teaches you to push past comfort, to embrace challenges, and to do what others won't. It forces you to confront the very things that hold you back. It trains your mind to understand that discomfort is temporary, but growth is permanent. Every time you resist comfort, you strengthen your willpower. Every time you act despite the urge to relax, you create momentum toward the life you desire. Comfort may feel good for a moment, but discipline ensures you never sacrifice your future for fleeting ease. Fear is perhaps the most powerful obstacle because it attacks your confidence and decision-making. Fear whispers lies in your ear. You can't do this. It's too risky. You'll fail. You're not ready. Fear makes you hesitate, procrastinate, and doubt yourself. It can paralyze the strongest minds if left unchecked. But discipline doesn't wait for fear to disappear. It acts in spite of it. Discipline teaches you to take action even when you feel scared, uncertain, or unprepared. It turns hesitation into momentum and doubt into determination. Every time you move forward despite fear, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your emotions. Every time you choose action over inaction, you reinforce your ability to control your destiny. Fear may always exist, but discipline allows you to face it head on and keep progressing. Discipline works because it creates a structure that keeps you aligned with your priority, even when external forces try to pull you away. Without discipline, distractions, comfort, and fear will dominate your life. They will decide how you spend your time, how you spend your energy, and ultimately how your life unfolds. You might have talent, vision, or opportunity, but without discipline, these things will be wasted. Discipline is the force that transforms potential into results. It protects you from the chaos of life and ensures that your actions are deliberate, intentional, and productive. It allows you to say no to what doesn't serve your goals and yes to what does, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. Every successful person understands this. They don't achieve greatness because they are luckier, smarter, or more talented than everyone else. They achieve greatness because they have mastered the ability to stay disciplined in the face of distractions, resist comfort, and act despite fear. Discipline allows them to prioritize long-term benefits over short-term pleasure. It gives them clarity in decision-making and resilience when challenges arise. Discipline turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers because it protects their focus, energy, and ambition from being diluted by temporary impulses or emotions. Discipline also helps you build consistency. Distractions, comfort, and fear are inconsistent forces. They fluctuate depending on circumstances, mood, and environment. Without discipline, your actions will fluctuate too. Some days you might feel motivated, other days lazy. Some days confident, other days doubtful. That inconsistency keeps you from achieving real progress. Discipline creates steadiness. It ensures that no matter what external pressures arise, you continue moving forward. It creates a daily pattern of action that compounds over time. That is why discipline is more powerful than inspiration or motivation. It doesn't depend on circumstances or emotion. Your future only changes when your daily actions change. Most people want a different life, a bigger income, better health, stronger relationships, and more success. But they fail to realize that all of these things are created by the choices they make every single day. You cannot wish for a new future and expect it to appear magically. You cannot hope for transformation while your habits remain the same. Your future is a reflection of your current actions, and if you want to see change, you must start by changing what you do consistently, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem. Every decision you make, every action you take compounds over time, shaping the life you will have tomorrow, next month, and next year. The danger is that most people underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. They believe that only massive, dramatic changes can make a difference, so they wait for some extraordinary moment or opportunity. But the truth is, small actions done every day have a compounding effect that is far more powerful than occasional bursts of effort. Waking up 30 minutes earlier, reading 10 pages a day, saving a small portion of your income, exercising consistently, practicing a skill, or completing a simple task. These daily actions accumulate and create a momentum that cannot be stopped. The future you dream about is built not by occasional grand gestures, but by consistent, intentional behavior repeated day after day. If your actions today mirror the habits of last year, your future will look like last year. If you repeat the same routines, make the same decisions, and follow the same patterns, nothing will change. Growth requires intentional deviation from the status quo. It requires discipline to do what most people won't do. It requires the courage to face discomfort, resist distraction, and take responsibility for the outcomes of your choices. Change doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you take deliberate steps that align with the vision of who you want to become. Daily actions also shape your mindset. The choices you make each day send a signal to your subconscious about what you value, who you believe you are, and what you expect from life. If you consistently act with purpose, discipline, and focus, your mind begins to adopt a stronger, more determined identity. If you consistently act passively, avoid challenges, and procrastinate, your mind also reflects that. Your future is not just a product of external actions, it is the internal development of your character and mindset. The daily habits you cultivate determine not only what you accomplish, who you become in the process. Consistency in action is the bridge between your present and your future. It is the invisible force that separates those who achieve their dream from those who only imagine them. Every time you act in alignment with your goals, you build momentum. Every time you act despite resistance, fatigue, or fear, you strengthen your ability to continue. Momentum is cumulative. It grows stronger with each successive action, and once it reaches a tipping point, your efforts begin to produce results that feel exponential. This is why small actions consistently applied are more powerful than sporadic bursts of effort. The challenge is that immediate gratification is constantly pulling you away from the actions that build your future. Social media, entertainment, comfort, and avoidance may feel good in the moment, but they steal the time and energy needed to invest in long-term success. Discipline is what allows you to resist those temptations. It is what allows you to make choices that benefit your future rather than merely satisfy your present. Every time you prioritize your goals over short-term pleasure, you reinforce a pattern of behavior that will compound into meaningful results over time. Another important factor is accountability. Your daily actions must be intentional and deliberate. Random activity is not enough. Mindless busyness does not create progress. You must know what actions matter, why they matter, and commit to doing them consistently. Write down your goals, break them into actionable steps, and commit to completing those steps daily. This is how you take control of your future instead of letting circumstances or luck decide it for you. Your daily actions are the levers of your destiny, and only by pulling the right levers consistently can you create a life that reflects your highest potential.